Welcome to What is a Descriptive Essay? This semester you're going to be asked to write a descriptive essay. When you think of a descriptive essay, what words come to mind? What does the first word descriptive hold? Well, of course, when you think of a descriptive essay, the first word is description. The descriptive essay is a genre of essay that asks the student to describe an object, person, place, experience, emotion, or situation. If you think about your rubric, this will be laid out a little bit closer. What descriptive essay genre are you going to describe? Most likely it's a person, place, experience. We want to think more concrete versus abstract. So this genre encourages the student's ability to create a written account of a particular experience, most likely a person or situation that they really enjoyed. What is more? This genre allows for a great deal of artistic freedom, the goal of which is to paint an image that is vivid and moving in the mind of the reader. So many times you might hear me say the words, I want you to explain it versus say it. So when we say it, that's when you use the words explicitly, meaning I ran. Well, what description does that offer us? Obviously not much. When you say more like, the rain was falling hard. As it fell, the rain blew into my face, wet and cold, and the moisture lapsed over my head. That offers a little bit more of a vivid description of where the rain is, how it's moving, and where it's going. So if you look at the sentence, I ran, well, what words can you use to describe I ran? Obviously, you might talk about how fast. Maybe you might talk about how awkwardly. Think about the other ways in which you can actually describe running. And this will all help you with the description and with your description essay. So looking at descriptive essay, after you choose a person, place, experience, emotion, situation, or object, you want to make sure that your thought process is concrete and graspable. Meaning, can you reach out and grab it? So one might benefit from keeping in mind this simple maxim. If the reader is unable to clearly form an impression of the thing that you are describing, try again. If the reader is unable to clearly form the impression of the thing that you are describing, most likely that means that your ideas are abstract and you need to make them more concrete. Concrete, abstract, these are just big words that mean nothing to you. Right. What we need to think about, concrete. Think of the actual substance concrete. It's hard, it's there, and you know you're walking on it. If you think of abstract, most likely you're thinking of Picasso's paintings, and you're wondering, what in the heck did he paint? Unless you're an amazing artist, you might not know. So make sure that you're using the simple maximum. If the reader is unable to clearly form an impression of the thing that you are describing, try again. Try it again. Write your words again. Describe them better, so maybe the reader can understand more of what you're saying. Here are some guidelines for writing a descriptive essay. Take time to brainstorm. Hopefully you get a chance to do a great pre-write. So if you take time to brainstorm, this is really going to help your descriptive essay. If your instructor asks you to describe your favorite food, make sure that you jot down some ideas before you begin describing it. For instance, if you chose pizza, you might start by writing down a few words like sauce, cheese, crust, pepperoni, sausage, spices, hot, melted, and so on. Maybe you're going to write down your favorite things on a pizza, but also you want to talk about the experience that you had. Once you have written down some words, you can begin by compiling descriptive lists for each one, each idea, each thought, each experience, so you can help make sure that your description is completely there. Of course, if I started talking about coffee, whether or not I liked it, I might talk about the smell, the taste, the texture, everything that would have to go with actually drinking coffee. Next, it says use clear and concise language. When we use clear and concise language, that means that exactly what I read, I'll be able to understand. This means that words are chosen carefully, particularly for the relevancy in relation to that which you are intending to describe. So putting it a little bit more simplistically, you choose your words carefully because you want it to actually relate to what you're talking about and what you're describing. When we think about choosing clear and concise language, we want to make sure that the words we're using, like sweaty, doesn't match up to pizza unless you're talking about really old pizza that's moldy. So think about words that relate. Obviously, the cheesy, gooey aroma. Well, what other words could I use for gooey if gooey doesn't fit into my correct sense there? You want to use clear and concise language that someone can understand, and it's also relevant to what you are talking about. Choosing vivid language. Well, when it comes to choosing vivid language, think about word description, word choice. Why would you use horse when you can choose words like stallion? Why not use tempestuous instead of violent? Or why not use miserly in place of cheap? Such choices form a firmer image in the mind of the reader and oftentimes offer nuanced meanings that serve better one's purpose. Meaning, if you can use a better word, use more vivid language, it's going to help you write your paper better. So you want to make sure that instead of going to a thesaurus and just picking out any word, choose the word that fits your language, fits your meaning best. Use your senses. Remember, if you are describing something, you need to be appealing to the senses of the reader. Explain how the thing smelled, felt, sounded, tasted, or looked. Embellish the moment with the senses. The deep, dark aroma of the coffee wafted into my nose. The smell, the sights, the sounds, they just incorporated my entire senses. I could not wait for that first drink of coffee to hit my lips because I just couldn't wait for the caffeine to rush through me. Hopefully, I got a little bit more of your senses going. You were able to think about that moment, and hopefully I offered an embellishment to you about what coffee might be like. If you don't like coffee, you might start by the smell, the sight, the taste, the sound. Everything around me just made me reek of coffee. Automatically, I've changed the sense of that sentence, and I've given you something that you might not feel positive about. And that's what coffee might be for you. But make sure, no matter what you're describing, you're using your senses. So your sight, your smell, your taste, your sound, and how it looks. Of course, we come back to the idea of what were you thinking? If you can describe emotions or feelings related to your topic, you will connect with the reader on a deeper level. So not, what were you thinking? It's, well, what were you thinking at that moment? Many have felt crushing loss in their lives, so your readers, if you're writing about crushing loss, they might be able to relate, or ecstatic joy, or mild complacency. Many people have felt these different emotions, these different ideas throughout their entire life. They're able to feel some camaraderie with you as a writer if you're able to get your ideas across. Tap into this emotional reservoir in order to achieve your full descriptive potential. The more you tap in, the better chance you have at getting your reader excited and ready to read more. Leave the reader with a clear impression. One of your goals is to evoke a small sense of familiarity and appreciation in the reader. If your reader can walk away from the essay craving the very pizza you just described, you're on your way to writing effective descriptive essays. So that means whether you're writing about pizza, or you're writing about the great dress at the mall, your 16th birthday, or you're talking about the new car you just purchased, or maybe you're talking about paying off all your loan debt. Something like this, if you describe it correctly, can get your reader there and have them feeling great about your essay. Make sure that you are organized. It is easy to fall into an incoherent rambling of emotions and sentences when writing a descriptive essay, meaning you're just jotting all your ideas and sentences down, but you're not really giving a good background and a good amount of information to the reader that helps it feel like you offered them descriptions. However, you must strive to present an organized and logical description if the reader is to come away from the essay with a cognate sense of what you are attempting to describe. Organization is key to a descriptive essay because we're able to grasp the concepts and the ideas that you want to get across in each and every paragraph. Being organized can help you greatly because it helps the reader know where you're going, where you've been, and what else information you are left to present. With this, you will be writing your first descriptive essay. Your assignment is to use all of these suggestions and write a descriptive essay that formally outlines and flows. It needs an outline, brainstorm, draft, revise and edit, and a final copy that will be due by next class.